Welcome back to the Krypton Factor Group B final. Our contestants have completed their points totals after 5 tough mental and physical challenges. Now they're on their way to the super round to buy as many advantages as their points totals allow and to battle it out for that coveted place in the grand final. The Krypton Super Round begins with the dramatic parachute jump. Next, the contestants must find their way through the cryptic rings. Out of the rings, they have to crack a series of computer codes before starting down the laser matrix, where breaking the beams incurs a disastrous time penalty. Next, 6 battens must be collected from the response revolve before the final hurdle, Krypton Mountain. Constructing the ladder comes first, followed by a race to the top.
Contestants, take your places.
And a reminder that the leader is John Reynolds with 36, Claire Nicholson is second with 24, and there's a two-way tie for third place with both Gavin Ingram and Matthew Swinburne on 22. The group finalists have now used those points to buy advantages. John has purchased 2 ladder pieces worth 12 points, 1 word on the computer challenge for 8 points, and a guide arrow for the cryptic rings. Claire has concentrated her points on the Krypton Mountain, buying 2 ladder pieces. With his 22 points, Gavin has bought 1 ladder piece and a word in the computer challenge. And with the same point score, Matthew has focused on his problem area in the heat, the computer challenge, and bought a word. And he's also bought a ladder piece.
The first problem after the parachute jump is the cryptic rings. Now, they get through by using personal codes which appear on the monitors in front of them. And they start with a letter or number in their own colour and then continue clockwise. Once they've memorised those, they can jump. If you're all right, the super round starts now.
And Matthew Swinburne wastes no time at all. He's first to make the leap off Krypton Mountain with Gavin and John close behind.
The only contestant to have an advantage at this stage is John Reynolds in yellow. He bought a guide arrow. As usual, all the contestants hoping they've correctly remembered this code, which offers a rapid route through the rings. But not only do they need good powers of recall, they also have to be able to interpret the code under pressure and show a great deal of physical agility.
School teacher Claire Nicholson is slightly behind at this stage. In fact, John is already looking for the exit point in his colour. Gavin not sure which way to go, and 1 wrong move here can waste crucial time. And yes, that guide arrow certainly worked for John. He is making his way out and on towards the computer challenge. Matthew is hot on his heels. That's the exit point he's looking for. And Edinburgh's Gavin Ingram is now looking for his final clue.
And it's on to the computer challenge, and Matthew Swinburne is a close second to John Reynolds. Remember, both men bought a word advantage, but already John has cracked the code. The solution lies in the computer keyboard. To get the correct letter, players must press the letter to the left of it on the keyboard. So for S, they need to press A.
Gavin is now at his computer, and so too is Claire, but she needs to make up a lot of lost ground here. John showing that even when you've cracked the code, it takes time and patience to put it into practice and solve all the words. This is the most mentally challenging aspect of the Super Round, and it's where contestants often become unstuck. Claire, the only one not to have bought an advantage, has yet to break the code. But the financial advisor, Gavin Ingram, is well on his way. But they're all chasing this man at the moment. That's the last letter John needed, and he can start down the laser matrix.
Setting off the beams brings an immediate time penalty that could prove crucial, and John is obviously not going to take any risks at this stage. Matthew finally finishing at the console. He knows he's going to have to get down that laser matrix quickly to close the gap on the leader, John Reynolds. John, in fact, losing a lot of time here with his patient approach to the laser run. He's going to be overtaken by Matthew. Claire now onto the lasers, but she's broken a beam. She's going to have to wait there for 7 seconds.
Matthew and John reach the response revolve. It is very close, but this is where Matthew is hoping to take the lead. He comfortably won the response round, and he made up a lot of time in his heat in the revolve, so this is his favourite challenge. But as Gavin joins them in the revolve, it really is anyone's race. And with none of the contestants playing advantages here, even Claire Nicholson is well placed in fourth.
The skill is to judge the light sequence, which releases the battens, and then use dexterity and agility to get the batten out as the drum is rolling. And with all 4 contestants in there together, balance is going to be at a premium. Claire, she's already collected 2 of her battens. fact, all 4 contestants are doing very well working out the sequence. Matthew needs only one more baton. That's another one for Gavin. But that's the final baton for the student from Oldham, Matthew Swinburne.
And he'll be first to the ladder at the base of Krypton Mountain. But John Reynolds has collected his final baton, and the big question, is Matthew's lead decisive enough? He only has 1 ladder advantage, John has 2. Now those ladder pieces are unwieldy and heavy. If they're not fitted accurately, the ladder will not slot together, and Matthew's finding it difficult to fit the pieces in. John is keeping his head at this stage. Gavin now has reached the ladder, and with 2 advantages in place, he might still be able to make up time on the 2 leaders. But Matthew's impatience is costing him dearly. He is not slotting in the correct sections, and he's losing ground to Gavin and John, who has only 1 more ladder piece to fit. But there is potential trouble for him. His climbing rope is under that final rung. He's realised it now, and just in time. And Matthew's made a real mess of this. He's had to start all over again with the ladder pieces, and that is going to be crucial. Now Claire could overtake him. She has only 1 more piece to fit in, as has Gavin in blue. But John Reynolds is pulling ahead, starting his climb to the top of the mountain, and we know that he is the fittest of all 4. Matthew frantically trying to recover, and Gavin chasing John Reynolds hard to the top. But Matthew looks to be out of it. Those ladder pieces were a real nightmare for him, and Claire, in fact, right on his heels. But is the Krypton Factor going to have its first ever grand finalist from Northern Ireland? He's almost there, and yes, John Reynolds wins it. Well done, John. And Gavin Ingram is a very close second. A great race between the 2 of them, and a sporting handshake. 2 outstanding contestants. And now the unfortunate Matthew Swinburne finishes 3rd, holding off Claire Nicholson.
Well done, that was so close. That was incredible. What a great climb.
Yeah, I knew Gavin. I could sense he was like either beside me or right behind me. Just had to keep going.
All that training on the kiddies' playground finally paid off.
Congratulations to both of you. Gavin, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you, that the runner-up in Group A, Mandy, had a faster time than you, so you won't be going through to the grand final. I'm sorry to have to break that to you, but it's a great race nonetheless. Well done, John. The first Ulsterman to make it to the grand final, I have to say. Well, we'll be back next week with the start of Group C and looking for another grand finalist. Hope you'll join us, same time, same place. Until then, from all of us, we'll say good night.
Good night.
Everyone loves a bit of muscle, and here at Challenge we like to give you what you love. So join us for UK's Strongest Man 2011 as we flex our pecs tonight at 10.